Hey, become a Muslim? Do you think that's what I was trying to do this whole time? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Demi. Or welcome to my channel if you have never seen this beautiful face before. My name is Demi and I am your Muslim homegirl. If you want to be homies with me, you would definitely hit that subscribe button because homies support homies. Anyways, today is April 4th and this is a super special day for me because today makes 4 whole years since I converted to Islam. Oh my gosh, alhamdulillah, first of all. But it does not feel like 4 years since I have converted to Islam. Like, I still feel new here. I am brand new. I am still a brand new Muslima. But yes, it has been 4 years. But ever since I converted, everybody and their mama has been asking me, oh, why did you convert? Why did you become Muslim? Why are you wearing the hijab? Why this? Why that? Blah, blah, blah. Why are you in my business? First of all, ask yourself that. Ask yourself why you are in my business and why you feel the need to know about all the personal decisions I decide to make in my life. But I know I am the talk of the town. Well, I used to be. I'm not anymore. But today is the day that I'm finally gonna tell you guys about my Islamic journey and my hijab journey all in one. I didn't feel like making 2 separate videos, so I got the tea for you, honeys. Honestly, I feel like I withheld my story for so long because I just felt like it wasn't good enough. Didn't have this beautiful story or this life-changing event that happened to me that completely altered my brain chemistry, and I knew from that moment forward that I was going to be a Muslima. Like, no, I didn't have any of that. Like, that just wasn't me. And anytime somebody asked me like, oh, why did you become Muslim? I just felt pressure to come up with this super amazing story. And I just really didn't have one. I don't have one. I still don't have one. Well, the real reason why I converted to Islam is because, one, I truly believe that Islam is the truth. I believe that everything that the Quran say, that's the truth, honey. And number 2, I was trying to get right with the Lord. Like, point blank period, I need to be right with the Lord, okay? Like, I wanted the peace and the happiness and the fulfillment and the joy that I saw people have when they turned to religion. I wanted all of that. I wanted peace within myself and I wanted peace with God. And Islam is literally the religion of peace. So it just made sense to me in my head. Growing up, I was never really super religious. Like, my mom dragged me to church a few times, but I wouldn't say that we were a religious family. Like, no one in my family like sat down with me and we had a conversation about God. We had a conversation about religion. That just never happened for me. But the few times that I did go to church, I remember just hating it because I really didn't know what the heck was going on. It was a lot of loud music, a lot of weird dancing. The seats were uncomfortable. It was always too hot or too cold. And my shoes were always too tight because they were too small. I was always hungry when I was there. Like, it was just a very uncomfortable time. I just didn't like it, and I really didn't like how loud it was. Like, I do not like loud noises. I don't like loud music. So I feel like I have some type of sensory issues, but that's a story for a different day. But on top of everything, I just didn't know what the heck was going on, and none of the stuff that they was talking about resonated with me in any kind of way. I was a kid, so why would it? Especially since we're just going to this place and then we're not having a conversation about anything that just happened while we were there. So it just really wasn't for me. Even outside of that, I just feel like religion just never sat right with me for some reason. Like, I don't know, I just always felt like, well, my main core system was just like, do right, be good, be right, God will love you, God will reward you in this life, and when you get to heaven, you will be rewarded by going to heaven. If you treat people good, you treat people nice, you be nice, everything will be all right. That was my core belief system, okay? But anyways, let's talk about my journey to Islam because it was definitely a journey. So my first encounter with Islam had to be in middle school, I want to say. So I had this friend and they were Muslim and we used to talk about a lot of different things, and some things that came up was, you know, Islam. And they were I think one of the first things that I learned about Islam was that when you get married, when a woman gets married, she doesn't change her last name to the man's last name. They told me that and I was just like, what? I'm gonna be Mrs. somebody one day. Like, what are you talking about? Everybody changes their last name when they get married. Like, what are you talking about? The women aren't supposed to change their last name. But they kind of just explained to me the importance of lineage. And I'm just like, oh, okay, well, that kind of makes sense. After they kind of like broke it down to me, I was like, okay, I guess, you know, that's okay or whatever. We ended up losing contact, but fast forward, my brother actually converted to Islam as well, and me and him aren't really that close. I remember he was trying to talk to me about the religion, and I'm just like, what are you talking about? I don't want to talk about none of this right now. Like, no, we're not about to do none of this. But I also remember him giving me a book, and I can't remember the name of the book. I wish I could. I really wish I could, but I can't remember the name of the book. But basically the book had like a lot of like miracles in the Quran that the creator would only know, because we didn't have the technology to know these sort of things when they were revealed in the Quran. So it's just like, the person who made this, they're the only person that would know stuff like this. Like, one of the things that I specifically remember is that how the Quran said that we're made up of mostly water. And scientists didn't even know that until the microscope was freaking invented, and then they found that out later. So I was just like, oh, these Muslims really know their stuff. And I've always believed in God. Like, I've never questioned his existence. I was never like an atheist or anything like that. The Bible just didn't really make sense to me, and it gave me a really unsettling feeling, especially when I got to college and I learned about how some things were put in, some things were taken out, some things were like a little misconstrued. Some people had like, there's like different authors. It's a book of stories. It's this version, it's that version. And that just, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. And this is not a shot at anybody who believes in the Bible. Like, if you are a Christian, or if your Bible is your Bible and you swear by your Bible, that's all fine and dandy. This is not an attack on you. This is just my personal experience. I'm sure you're amazing, but the Bible just wasn't for me, okay? Anyways, fast forward to a couple more years in my life, and I started a new job, and I met some amazing people. I don't work at that job anymore, but I met a lot of great people that I'm still in contact with today. And one of my close friends that I met there, they were Muslim as well. And we used to talk all the time about different Islamic things. And I used to ask different questions because I just wanted to know. Like, it wasn't like, I wasn't asking them in the way where I was just like trying to figure out why they were Muslim, because that's what I don't like. I don't like when people try to ask you questions to try to debunk your beliefs and things like that. Like, I was just asking questions just so I could understand, just so I could see clarity, because I don't know, Islam was just always at the back of my mind, like being Muslim. And I know that people are born Muslim. When I say that, it's just like people are born with the will to want to submit to God. So that's when I say people are born Muslim. So when I was asking them questions all the time, I was just asking because I knew this person knew a lot about Islam, and I knew that they wouldn't tell me something that wasn't accurate or things like that, or they would point me in the right direction on how to like look up the information that I was, you know, wanting to learn or whatever. So we had many of these conversations, and I'm just like, wow, yeah, these Muslims really know their stuff. And one thing I can really appreciate about the Quran is that it can be traced back to years and years and years and years and years ago. Like, it is authentic. Like, that's one thing that I really, really like about the Quran, is that it is authentic. I feel like the Bible is like playing a game of telephone where the words get messed up and things like that. But I feel like the Quran is like someone passing notes. Like, this note is this, passes to the next person, passes to the next person, passes to the next person. The words aren't changing. The note is still with the note, but the telephone thing is like people are saying different things. So that's just my take on it. But that's one thing that like drew me to the religion, is that everything can be traced back to something, and you can see where the original roots are. And in Islam, they actually like encourage you to seek knowledge. They actually encourage you to read. So anyways, one day my friend was just like, okay, so when are you going to become Muslim? You've been asking me so many questions. We've had so many conversations. When are you going to take the next step? And I was just like, what? Me? Become a Muslim? Do you think that's what I was trying to do this whole time? Like, why are you attacking me? I don't know. I just felt like I was not ready at all. Like, first of all, it wasn't that I was a big drinker or a big smoker or a big partier or a super wild girl. I was none of those things. I was very much homebody. I didn't really drink like that. I definitely didn't smoke. I didn't even eat pork, okay? But I just felt like I wasn't ready. I felt like I didn't want to convert just yet because I felt like it was a huge responsibility. I felt like it would take a lot of discipline. It would take a lot of commitment. And I didn't know if I was ready to just like shift my life around, because I feel like the spotlight is always on Muslims. Like, oh, you're not supposed to eat pork. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. And if you do something of the opposite, it's just like, oh, you're a fake Muslim. You're not a real Muslim. You're this and you're that. I don't know why, but the spotlight is always on Muslims. And I know there's a lot of things that Christians aren't supposed to do either, but they don't have the spotlight on them like Islam, like the Muslimas do. And I also knew that once you take on a religion, whatever the religion's beliefs and value system is, that is now your beliefs and value system. And I didn't know everything that it meant to be a Muslim. Like, I didn't know our everyday activities or how we were supposed to live our lives. So I didn't even know everything that it said in the Quran. So it's like, I didn't want to take on all of this without knowing everything. So I was really hesitant just to jump on board of something that was completely new. And like I said, I didn't want to do everything wrong and have God like hate me forever, because it's just like, okay, once you become Muslim, now everything that you're doing, you're going to be held accountable for. Not to say that you wouldn't be held accountable based on how I was living my life before, because in my mind, like I said, all I had to do was be good, be kind, be nice, and everything was all good. But anyways, my friend was like, well, the longer you put it off, the more comfortable you're gonna be with putting it off. And I was just like, you know what? You're right about that. And then they asked me if I believe that the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, was the last messenger. Like, if I believe that this was the last person that God sent to the earth. And I was like, yeah, after everything I've read, after everything we talked about, like, yeah, he's the last one. That's it. No more, you know, that's the last one. Ain't gonna be nobody after this. And they were just like, okay, well, do you believe that there's just one God and that God has no partners? And I was like, yeah, I believe that there's one guy, the man upstairs, and he don't need no partners. What he need partners for if he's God? Like, God don't need no help. He got this joint on lock. He got the earth on lock. He got the whole world outside of earth, the galaxies on lock. He don't need no partners. And then they were just like, okay, well then you're ready to become Muslim. And I was just like, oh, I don't know. Because that's basically your shahada. Saying those statements out loud in Arabic, that's basically you taking your shahada. But they were just confirming with me that I knew those statements were true. Anyways, this conversation happened like early on in the day when I was at work. And I was just thinking about it all day. Like, you know what? They really made sense. Like, this is true and that's true. So if Johnny had 5 apples, then, you know, he can make applesauce. I'm like, you know what? All right, I'm gonna take my shahada today. And I didn't tell anybody. I didn't want to feel pressured. I only like told one girl because there was another girl at my job who recently took her shahada. And I'm just like, can you take me to where you went to take your shahada? Because I want to take my shahada. So she took me, and I actually took my shahada at the masjid in Elizabeth. And it was actually Fatima's mother who gave me my shahada. If you don't know, I talk about these people a lot on my channel, but for the newcomers here, Fatima, she's another Muslim woman who I found on Instagram to model for the company that I work at. And she also works there. But yeah, her mother was actually the one who gave me my shahada. And now I work with her basically every day. So it's just like crazy how the world works, right? So yeah, I went to go take my shahada, and then boom, Muslim Demi was here. And then 2 years after I was Muslim, then that's when I created was it 2 years? I can't remember, but I created this channel, Your Muslim Homegirl, basically because I didn't have any Muslim homegirls and I didn't have anybody to show me the ropes. I didn't have anybody. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to make a channel where I talk about some Muslim people stuff, and hopefully, you know, we can have a little community. So I didn't have any homegirls, but you have a homegirl right now. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, okay? Anyways, back to the story. As far as my hijab, I wasn't totally against it, but I wasn't really super for it. Like, I was following some Muslim girls before I became Muslim, of course, And I just love the way they look, so elegant, so classy, and their full garments. I used to love when Eid came around because I knew the Muslims was stepping. I knew they were going to look so beautiful in their long dresses. They reminded me of gowns. And I love me a long gown, okay? I love me a long gown. So I used to always just be in awe and how beautiful they look. And I just wanted to be a part of that so bad. Like, let me step out with y'all for Eid for the one time. But I personally didn't want to wear the hijab because I loved my hair. Like, I was just now starting to get comfortable with my natural hair, learning how to style it, learning how to take care of it, all that kind of things. My hair was flourishing, it was growing. I didn't want to just leave from that and wear a hijab, especially because I used to love me a blonde wig. Like, if y'all knew me before, I used to love me a blonde wig. I used to love me a curly wig. I loved me a big Shaka Khan wig. I used to love slicking down my edges before it was popular. I used to love me a big ponytail on the top of my head or 2 space buns. I used to really love my natural hair and I loved experimenting with it. I didn't want to wear a hijab because it's just like, okay, if I start wearing my hijab, then all that's over and I'm not going to be able to do any of that anymore. Also, when I finally got control of my hair, because me and my hair had a very rough journey, okay? When I finally started to know what was working for my hair and when I was like comfortable with wearing my natural hair out, I was like, I'm gonna create a YouTube channel and I'm gonna do different natural hairstyles. I'm gonna show my different wigs and things like that because everybody used to compliment me on my wigs. And my first channel, if you are OG, you remember this. My first channel, I don't remember the name of it, but my first video was me showing y'all some wigs I have on. If you remember that first channel, let me know in the comments, but y'all probably don't remember. And I talked to my friend about it. I was just like, you know, I just want to ease my way into it. I want to just wear it on like Fridays or if I go to the masjid. Like, I don't want to wear it at work. I don't want to wear it like, I just want to wear it if I go to the masjid. Like, I'm gonna be respectful and wear it when I go to the masjid or like Muslim events. And they were just looking at me like, that's dumb. Like, they didn't say that, but that's how I felt like they were looking at me. And it's just like, if you could wear it to those kind of events, why can't you just wear it 24/7? And in my mind, it's just like, because I don't want to. I don't want to wear it 24/7. Like, why are you questioning me about what I want to do? Like, is it your head? Like, I didn't want to have to cover up my natural hair every time I stepped out of the house. Like, I was like, really didn't want to do it. But they told me they said the same thing they said before. They was like, well, the more you put it off, the more comfortable you're going to be with putting it off. And I was just like, you're right. You know what? Let me just do it. I think I'm going to go for it. I think I'm going to do it. You know that TikTok sound? Yeah, TikTok sound? I'm not going to do it. I'm just thinking about it. I did it. No, I did it. And one day I came to work and I had my hijab on. Here's the first picture of me with my hijab on right now, looking crazy, not knowing how to freaking tie it because I went to an Islamic store to get my hijab and nobody in the store helped me. They were no help. Like, they were literally no help. Like, they didn't tell me what kind of material to get. They didn't show me how to wrap it. They didn't show me what kind of shape to get. This is a square hijab, okay? If you are a new shahada or thinking about taking your shahada, and you're gonna wear the hijab, make sure you get you a rectangle. Rectangles is going to be easier to tie. Get you some jersey too. Jersey material is gonna be the best material. It's gonna be your best friend. Learn how to tie this jersey and then learn how to do other materials. And this jersey material like doesn't slip that much. It is very comfortable. It's not like scratchy and shifting all around your head all day. But yeah, I didn't have anybody to tell me anything. You have somebody to tell you something. So once again, subscribe to the channel. Yeah, so that was me at work. I'm a very likable person. Like, I was pretty popular at my job. So of course, everybody was talking to me that day. Like, oh my God, you're a Muslim now? Oh my God, you're wearing the hijab? You're Muslim? What made you want to be Muslim? Like, oh my God. Like, first of all, like I said, I was really popular at my job. Not really popular, but I was a social butterfly. But when I tell you, everybody was coming up to me, wanting to talk to me, wanted to pull me to the side and ask me about what's going on. Why am my business? Like, I should have just like sent the email. Yes, I should have sent the email before I got to work, giving everybody an explanation. You know what? If I still worked there, I would have sent this video to them because I just felt so like the spotlight was on me. I didn't like, first of all, I don't like attention. I don't like unnecessary attention. Like, even though I'm talking to y'all like this, I'm also a very shy person. Even though I'm a social butterfly, I'm still a shy person. So every 5 seconds, like, I could not get no work done that day because everybody kept asking me about me becoming Muslim. And it was, quite frankly, very annoying. But alhamdulillah, I've had my scarf on ever since. Well, that's not entirely true. I did take it off one time. And I took it off one time because I wanted to go to Walmart and I wanted to feel like a normal freaking person. Becoming Muslim was very isolating to me because, like I said, I don't have any family or friends that are Muslim. I have a brother, but we're not really that close, and I'm not ready just to start talking to you now. Yeah, so becoming Muslim, it was even more isolating because I didn't know who to talk to. I had some concerns about certain things. Not concerns, but I just kind of wanted somebody to hold my hand throughout my journey, but at the same time, I understand that this is my journey and I should take control of it. But I do wish that I had some cheerleaders, you know, in the stands. I wish that I had some family that I could talk to, that I could hang out with, that I can do, you know, Muslim stuff with. People that I can go to the masjid with and things like that. Like, because even on like Eid, that's a big Muslim holiday. I normally spend all my Eid alone. Every Eid I've had, I've spent alone, except for the last Eid I spent with Sophia. We went to Six Flags. That's another vlog. I'll put that in the description box if you want to see our fun time at Eid. But I felt very isolated and I felt very lonely. I don't know. I just wanted to feel like my normal self again. I just wanted to look cute like how I be looking cute. I wanted to do my hair. I wanted to go outside and just feel normal. I just wanted to feel regular. Like, I just wanted to feel like there was nothing holding me back. And it's not like, I don't think that the hijab was holding me back. I just felt like it was a big change that I wasn't quite comfortable with because for the longest time, I didn't feel pretty in my hijab. So it's just like, not to say that beauty is everything because that sounds kind of shallow, but it's just like, if you don't like the way you look, you're not going to want to do certain things. You're not going to want to go outside and do all these kind of things. You're not gonna like feel confident. I feel like when I put my hijab on, especially because I didn't really know what materials to use, I didn't really know how to style it, how to wrap it. I feel like I have like a weird shaped head, so I wasn't comfortable with my hijab. So I took it off so I could just feel normal again, and I did feel normal again. I felt great. I'm not gonna sit up here and say, oh, I was so sad that I took my hijab off, yada yada yada. No, I felt great. I went to Walmart, ran my errands, and I felt great. But I put my hijab back on because I'm just like, okay, my Islamic journey has been slow. But slow motion is better than no motion, okay? And I wanted to put my hijab back on because I wanted to say, okay, this is the one thing that I'm doing right. If there's one thing that I could do right, I can put this hijab on. I can, you know, dress modestly. I can, you know, watch the way I interact and watch the way I carry myself. So I'm going to put my hijab on just because, you know, in the Quran it says, so remember me and I will remember you. And I wanted to put my hijab back on just so I can remember God. And I wanted God to remember me on the day of judgment, okay? I'm trying to get to heaven. I'm trying to get to paradise. I'm trying to get to all of those great things. But yeah, I still struggle with the religion only because I have the attention span of the squirrel. And one of the first things that it literally commands us to do in the Quran is to read. Like, I think it's in bold letters. It says read. And reading is hard for me. I don't know why. Like, I feel like I need to take some type of like focus pills or something, or be in like a solitary confinement because my attention span, it really sucks. But like I said, slow motion is better than no motion. Number one piece of advice to anybody who's thinking about taking their shahada or want to take it but are scared or nervous or hesitant is to just do it. Girl, just do it. I know Nike was really in their bag with that slogan, but it's as simple as that. Like, just do it. Like, what are you so afraid of? If it's unsafe for you to take your shahada, then probably don't do it or whatever. I don't know. If it's safe for you to take your shahada, do it. Start your relationship with God and being on a straight path. Try to surround yourself with like-minded people. I know it might be harder if you live in rural areas or places that don't have a big Islamic community, But if you do have, you know, a masjid around you, go to the masjid on Fridays. Go to the masjid for iftar. Join some Facebook groups. I love me a Facebook group, okay? Join you some Facebook groups. I'm gonna put the groups that I'm in the description box. And the best part about them is that you can post in there anonymously. So you don't have to worry about people being in your business. You can join some rooms on Clubhouse. Clubhouse is like a podcast platform. And they have different rooms where different sisters like do different things. They talk about like different Islamic things. You can also follow a bunch of Muslims on social media like myself. This is my Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Follow a bunch of Muslimas. Follow a bunch of people that look like you that you can relate to. You can also try to follow a lot of Islamic content pages just so you can keep seeing that in your timeline. Keep seeing that on your For You page. Just so, you know, you can try to stay on the right path of the religion. It's hard. It's really hard. I'm not going to lie to y'all and sit up here and say, I had this transformation since becoming Muslim and my life has been so much better. I mean, my life has been better since becoming Muslim, but you definitely have to put the work in, and you can't expect things to just change for you overnight if you're not actively trying to pursue that. And I know one thing that would be super helpful, super beneficial that I still struggle with is just reaching out to other sisters and asking them for advice. And if they don't have the answer, they're going to send you to somebody who does have the answer, or they're going to send you a link to something that could probably answer the question that you may have. One thing about the Muslim shorties, they are here to help and they are here to guide you. But yeah, I have been through every single emotion since becoming Muslim, and I still don't regret my decision for 1 second. I have learned so much, and there's still so much to learn, and there's still room for growth, and there's still room to make mistakes and to turn to God for forgiveness, because Allah is the most merciful. I know people talk about the haram police and things like that, but guess what? On the day of judgment, you will be judged by God, and God is the most merciful as long as your heart is pure, as long as you repent, as long as you pray, as long as you try. Join Islam today. But yeah, that's the end of my video, and that's my journey to Islam and my journey with the hijab. Feel free to share your story in the comments, or you can even DM me on Instagram if you don't feel like writing everything on YouTube. And if you made it this far in the video, you might as well subscribe. We're clearly homies, so subscribe to the channel. And if you're already subscribed, thank you guys so much. I absolutely adore your support. Thank you guys for everything, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.